Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, Vanity, Ezel back another card fight Vanguard, Ezel and Vanity, Mukuru videos. Please enjoy them, like, comment, start, shall we? Oh god, this is like the third half video I'm recording today because so many videos I have to do halves because I'm not sure I'm going to upload these or not. I mean, I know I'm going to upload this one, but still. So, we have just gotten some good reviews. We're going to get Nirvana's ride line later today, or like this recording, you're gonna get Nirvana, but for me, this clip of the recording, I don't have Nirvana Jheva's full ride line yet, so we don't know. Now, first up, I want to talk about something. We got the new episode of the anime, episode 4, where we saw crossover dress and all that shit. For once, out of all of Overdress, I have finally liked an episode to its entirety. Not just the fight, not just something else. I finally liked it. For once, aha, finally. Now I don't have to get screamed at by my friends. So let's go ahead and get this started, and yeah, that was just something I wanted to say. First up, we have Decisive Axe Dragon, grade 3, 200 persona rate, 13k base, continues rearguard during a battle in which this unit attacks. If your Vanguard rode by a card effect this turn, your opponent cannot call normies from your hand to guard circle. Cool. So basically a way to make so that to guard 2 or more at the same time. I have tried out Youthberg with Gust. All I'm gonna say is this: I am so tempted to like get rid of Gust right now because Gust has done nothing. Like Gust is only better in against Zest when it comes to you're going second. When you're going second and you haven't Persona Road yet, that's when Gust is more useful in my opinion. And I'm the one running the card that gets benefits from extra drives, and even I'm saying Gust is bad. So that's saying something when it more benefits a card in my deck, and I'm still saying it's not that good. So Decisive Axe is still a good card nonetheless, being able to get rid of card or like normal units from the hand to guard circle, so basically forcing out triggers, even if he's barely gonna hit otherwise. So 2 of, I think, Decisive Axe Dragon, if you want to run him just for the extra guard restrict, otherwise don't run him at all. Then we have Departure at the Dawn of a New Day. Has anyone else playing Youthberg figured out that Youthberg is just new Gold Paladin where you can go from 0 board to full board in 5 seconds? Like, I paid, what, 2 Counterblasts, 1 hand card, and got a full board out of nothing? So, that's fun. Anyways, grade 1 normal order, Counterblast 1 to play it. Look at top 5, choose up to 1 card with Revolve form and its card name from among them, reveal it, add it to your hand, or choose up to 1 grade 2 or lower unit card, call it to rear guard, and shuffle your deck. So, either get a Revolve form to hand or call a unit. Either way, or grade 2 or lower. So, either way, Departure is a really good card. It gets you a rear guard or gets you your main game mechanic. So all around, it's a nice order. I personally run it a 2 of. If you want to pump it up to a 3 of, I can definitely see that. But it's just a good card nonetheless because either gets you the board or the hand card. So 2 or 3. Then we have Diabolos Digger Basil. God, I love his art. I hate his skill. Grade 2 and SF 5k shield, 10k base. Auto rear when this unit attacks while boosted, this unit gets plus 5k for the turn. All I'm going to say is this. I said it before when I said what I want out of Overdress. I wanted every nation to get a set order. Counting this video, we have now 3 nations that have set orders. Keter, Stoicheia, which I'm very happy for, and Branke, obviously. If they gave us the set order that I mentioned in my What I Want in Overdress video, I would love Basil to death considering I know my set order said restand the back row. Why they didn't give us it is beyond me. They better give us it, otherwise Basil in my opinion sucks. Because, I mean, like, you're only going to boost once unless, like, you have some convoluted combo going on. Like, Basil's okay, but we can make him better. Come on, Bushy, make Basil better. Give him a 2 for now, but Bushy, make Basil better. Give us that set order. Then we have Diablo's Girls Kristen, grade 1 boost, 5k shields, 8k base. Auto is placed on rear guard from your soul. If you're in Final Rush, still charge 2 for every 2 card jams. Oh yeah, I also forgot Lyrical Monster has set orders, but I don't count Lyrical Monster. Anyways, good skill. Calls out from Julian, get to the 2 soul charges. I like how all these cards are now focused on Julian. We've had, what, 3, 4 support cards now that all activate when placed from Soul, and they're all meant to focus around Julian. That's weird. Like, I'm not going to say it's not wrong because I have had soul problems, so Kristen would definitely help, but why are so many support cards now focusing on Julian? It's like Julian was meant to be the hard carrier of the deck in the early game, and now he's just the hard carrier all around, which doesn't feel fair for Julian. I still like him. I think he's a good grade 3, but having all these cards support him, it's kind of weird. So 2 to 3 of Kristen. Still a really helpful card. I think it would help me a lot because I have run into some soul problems lately, so all around decent card, 2 or 3 of. Then we have Blaze Maiden Shadia. Now, okay, We know one of the crossover dresses. I have a theory about the other crossover dress. So Blaze Maiden Shadia, grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when it's placed on rear, if you control 2 or more units with Blaze Maiden in their card names, Soul Blast 1, search after 1 Trickstar or Trick Moon, discard it and shuffle your deck. Now, that benefits both Nirvana, maybe not Nirvana Jheva, who knows, and Basil, because both of them can get their grade 0s from drop zone, respectively. Now, here's my theory on crossover dress. We know what it does for Vairina, the Vairina sword one. I'm not going to tell you guys what it does, just in case you guys don't know. You can fast forward in the video, but my assumption is because it takes 2 different units, and we saw one of them. We know Yu runs in his deck. I fucking saw it. I don't know for sure if that's the unit that crossover does, but I'm 95% sure it is because they look exactly the same. One of them, I assume, is going to cross-dress with Trick Moon. I really hope that's the case. I know a lot of us said before we wanted it to be Trick Moon because, like, all the dress keywords and stuff like that, and that's what I think the grade 2 of the right line Reiyu does. It searches for a card that has dress in its card text. I'm willing to bet right now that Prayer Dragon has dress in its card text, and if that's the case, then we're getting a Trick Moon overdress. I really hope it is. I might be completely wrong, but that's just me theorizing. Please, Bushy, let me be right on this. 3 of Shadia, maybe. Again, I'm not so sure how Jheva works because I haven't seen the Jheva yet outside of its one skill that we all know from the anime. So take that as you will. 2 or 3 of either way. It's a decent card for both decks. Then we have Quadracast Sorceress, grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Auto when she's placed on rear, if you have a Vanguard Sorceress in its card name, look at top 2, put them on the top of deck in any order, and soul charge 1. Okay, we can all say again, works in premium, fair. Again, I say, has Sorceress, but she used to call it out Pentagleam or Hexa Orb. Again, I'm saying we're going to get another grade 3 or Sorceress or a grade 4 Sorceress because there's no reason... well, I mean, Bushy may have just chosen to save text, but I don't believe there's a reason that up to this point, Bushy has used or has specified Pentagleam and Hexa Orb instead of just saying Sorceress. I doubt that they're just doing it randomly. I mean, they probably are just doing it randomly, but I really hope it's not, because that possibly means a grade 3, a new grade 3, or a new grade 4. That's just me being optimistic, but I really hope I'm right here. Either way, Soul Charge is really nice. I give it a 2 over 3 of an Hex Orb deck if you're running into soul problems. Then we have Octaray Sorceress, grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Anyone else think this is just Rhombus Magus, but the knockoff version, or like the descendant of Rhombus Magus? Anyways, auto when it's placed on rear if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Sorceress in its card name. There's the grade 3 or greater part. I'm saying it. It's gonna happen. Counterblast 1. Look at top 2. Choose up to 2 cards from among them. Add them to your hand and put the rest on top in any order. If you added 2 cards to your hand by this effect, choose a card from your hand, put it to bottom. So basically, Counterblast 1, draw 1. Cool. And then auto rear when this unit attacks. If you Persona Mode this turn, this unit gets +5 for the battle. Okay. Cool, so 15k swing if you get a way to restand it, 25k swing, all around really nice. It adds support for both Bastion decks, it adds support for Hexa Orb, kind of support for PBO, not really, but semi-support at least. Like all around, she's a good card for all the decks. I mean, she best support Hexa Orb, obviously, but either way, choose her to run her whatever you want her. I probably would run her at 4 Hexa Orb deck if I could find room for her in my Hexa Orb deck, so 4 of. Then we have Direful Doll Amandine, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Continues rear guard during turn. If you have 10 or more cards in your soul, she gets +10. So 18k swing. Cool. I'm fine with that. That's just a good skill. And then act rear once per turn, counterblast 1 till end of turn. Whenever you would soul charge by a card's ability, add 1 to the amount soul charged. Okay, there's a positive to that and there's a negative to that. 1, from what I understand by that, that's a permanent ability. So all you have to do is pay 1 counterblast, and every time you soul charge that turn, it increased by 1. So if you were to soul charge 1 from a skill, you soul charge 2. You soul charge 3 from a skill, you soul charge 4. You get the point. So, and I'm pretty sure if you have multiple of them and you counterblast 1 for each of them, they stack. But the downside to this, that is a mandatory add-on, which means every time you soul charge, you're decking yourself out quicker. In some Dark Space decks, I can definitely see where you deck out a lot. Like, for example, it just says by a card's ability. So if you have Pandemonium Tactics, that's a soul charge 5. Yeah, a lot of people want to soul charge 5 for a lot of cards because it speeds up their deck easier, but you also have to remember, 5 cards out of deck in one go, that's getting rid of 1/10 of your deck. And while, yeah, some people say 1/10 doesn't matter, unless you're playing Bruce, and even from my experience, Bruce will soul charge really quickly, you are going to deck yourself out almost immediately. So, or not immediately, but you get my point. So Amandine, as much as I like her, and I think she's a good card, she is definitely the one where she will either win you the game because of that skill, or she will be the reason you lose. So 2 over 3 of respectively if you choose to run her. I'm kind of tempted to not run her, and I'm also tempted to run her. Oops, wrong order. Then we have the one who controls the chaos! What I feel like this was a mistranslation, and its real name is the one who controls the chaos, or chaos, and is spelled the same way as chaos. I don't know, I feel like that's how it should be. Anyways, grade 1 normal order. If you have a Vanguard with chaos in its card name, counterboss 1 to play it. Look at top 5, choose cards equal to the amount of cards in your soul with chaos in their different card names. So at most there will ever be 4 unless Bushy decides to give us another chaos card. Put them into your soul. Again, unless this happens to be called chaos in the TCG, but I'm not so sure. Anyways, in the different card names, put them to your soul and shuffle your deck. Then if you have 8 or more cards in your soul with different card names, choose a card from your soul, call it to rear guard, and then choose one of your rear guards with Makani, and Cardinal gets plus 10 for the turn. So basically, counterblast 1, look at top 5, and shove any amount in there equal to your soul count. So at the very least 3. Then, or you can use that at grade 1 if you want to. Then you may call your main playmaker Mikani and then give it plus 10 and get that restand off it. All around, the one who controls chaos or chaos, really hoping it's called chaos, is really good order. It gets you set up. It gets you power. It is literally hands down, I think, the best thing I've ever seen from Dark States. So running this thing at a 2 to 3 of in my Chaos deck, whatever copy I'm at the order from my previous Chaos deck is at, this just gets replaced with this. So 2 or 3 of. Then we have, hell yeah, a set order, and for one of my favorite Stoic decks, Duo Determination. If you don't know, my Stoic deck rankings go the fucking Roroa, then Leonore and Magnolia are tied, then Zorga, and then Flagberg. I don't hate Zorga. Zorga's just down there because I like the other ones more. I do hate Flagberg, though. I think Flagberg's just all around bad, so that's why Flagberg's at the bottom. But yes, finally, we have a set order for Stoic, and I love that it's for my main boys. So anyways, grade 3 set order. If you have a Vanguard for Roroa and its card name, counterboss 1, retire rearguard to play it. And an auto, when it's placed in your order zone, search deck for 1 Radlina, reveal it, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Okay, for the people that were shit-talking me before about, like, running, that card that sends Radlina back to deck, you done shit-talking me now? Because guess what? We got a way to recycle it, and we got a way to call it back. And my way, in my opinion, is better than Spirit Control Body Condensation, because, well, yes, it is slower because you can't play 2 orders at once. On the bright side, mine doesn't cost a soul and gives you a soul, so take that as you will. Either way, Duo Determination is a really good card just for that alone, being able to search out your main grade 2 rear guard, and then continuous order zone during your turn. If you have a Vanguard or Roroa in its card name, all your tokens in your back will get plus 5. So that little dragon thing is hitting for, I think, 25-30 now. The 2 plant tokens in the back are hitting for 10k boosters. All around, Duo Determination is a really cool card. I like its art. I think it's amazing with Radlina and Roroa side by side. I like how it's very cheap and easy for the deck to pay. I like how it's just a free Radlina to hand. All around, it's an amazing order. I love it. 4 of in a Roroa deck. And too bad it's a promo, which means us people in America aren't getting this for a long ass fucking time. Thanks a lot for that one, Bushy. Anyways, now we have Smiling Duo Amarie. I expected so much from this card because I knew this was our double rare, and it looked really cool in my mind, and I wanted it to be something I would use. I'm not going to use this card. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear when it boosts. If you have another grade 1 lower rear guard, this you get plus 2 for the battle. Then if you are boosting a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, draw a card. I spend all my counterblast and soul blast using Elena and my other combos. Drawing a card, just no. This is not worth it. In my personal opinion, this is not worth it, especially because I get more power output from other units. Like, if you want to run this, go ahead. Me, personally, ain't going to run. That's such a shame because I like her art. But we do have this card. Some people did say before that, like, because stuff are promos, it's hard to get stuff. Well, guess what? Bushy answered that issue by giving us Marching Debut Purité. If you don't know what I'm referring to, I run a grade 1 in my Leonore deck that is, when it boosts, if you have 6 or more, if you have 6 units, it gets plus 5k power. So, and it's a promo, so it's hard to get. But this one basically does the same thing in the sense that grade 1, boost 5k shield, 8k base, continues rear guard during your turn. If you have 3 or more grade 1 or lower rear guards, it's usually plus 5 for the turn. So, basically, it's a 13k base. It is easier to acquire than that 1 grade 1 I'm referring to, because 1, those grade 1s don't have to be in the back row. They can be anywhere on the board. 2, I mean, it's a continuous ability, so, you know, if they nuke your rear guard, so be it. But, like, they can't shut it down via, like, auto abilities don't activate skills. So all around, Purité is really good. Nice substitute for that promo if you don't want to get it. Me personally, I don't know who I like more. I think the promo is just better because, like, 6 units is easy to hit in Leonore, and this one requires you to have 3 or more lower grade 1 rear guards. And one time I didn't have that. I had actually 4 grade 2 rear guards, and one of them had boost and then 2 grade 1s. So it's only a one-time thing, but, you know, I might not go Purité, but Purité is a nice substitute for that promo if you don't have it. So for Purité if you don't have the promo. Then we have Recorded Racoon. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear. When this unit boosts, if you have a Vanguard Leonore in its card name, and your opponent cannot intercept on the battle. Okay, I said it once, I said it before. Leonora does not need to stop intercepts. For my entire time playing Leonora, I've learned one thing. Intercepting ain't gonna do fucking shit. Let them intercept, please. They're gonna waste hand cards trying to fill up those boards anyway. And if you play it like I do, they ain't blocking your attacks with interceptors unless those 2 interceptors are both 15k interceptors. And if they're not, well, they're gonna have to waste hand cards blocking it and then waste hand cards repopulating those said intercepts. So, Recorder Racoon, don't bother running, in my opinion. If you want to run it because maybe it has something to do with meta, go ahead. But from what I've seen with Leonora and how I play it, intercepts do nothing. So 0 for me, maybe 1 over 2 for you. Then we have some Lyrical Monasterio cards. Radiant Smile Michele, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Act Rear once per turn. If you Persona Mode this turn, Cardinal 1, and this unit gets plus 10 for the turn. I feel like this is for Kari because Kari uses up very little Counterblast. So okay, free 18, that's fair. Maybe 2 over 3 of. Then we have Hectic Morning Mukuru, grade 3 200 Persona, 13k base. Auto rear when this unit attacks, this unit gets plus 2k until end of battle for each of your other regards to different grades. That sounds like something that came straight from Dark States because I know there's a Dradroid card that does that. Or we don't know the full skill, but we know part of its skill. So that's interesting. I don't think anything in Lyrical Monasterio takes advantage of this, or maybe it's for Angel support, or maybe this is for one of the new ride lines for the Lyrical Monasterio. Who knows? Either way, Mukuru is fine. I don't think she's amazing. Maybe a 2 over 3 of if one of the ride lines does focus on different grades. Maybe she'll be at more for me, but honestly, I don't see me running her more than 2 of. So take that as you will. Then we have our new Vairina with the cross-dress sign. God, I hate how it's just XO in my opinion. Jeweled sword equip, Gato Vairina. So, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Cross overdress or X dress, whatever you want to call it, 1 Trickstar and Prayer Dragon. So Prayer Dragon, I don't know what its skill is. We're probably going to find out later in this episode when Bushy shows off Prayer Dragon in the ride line. But basically, from what I saw from it, Prayer Dragon has 2 swords on its arms, which basically, in my mind, tells me that whatever the cards look like, that's just what Vairina is going to look like, which is why I think that grade 1 from before is going to transform into the other Vairina, and I'm really hoping that it cross-dresses with Trick Moon. Who knows? Anyways, Prayer Dragon, I believe it's a grade 2, and 1 Trickstar each. You may place this by stacking all the specified units under instead of normal calling it to a rearguard circle, okay? And then continuous rearguard, if this unit is in the cross-dress state, this unit gets plus 10k, and for the battle they attacked, when your opponent would call cards from hand to guard circle, why is it not showing up from hands to guard circle? They must call 2 more at the same time. Okay, I don't know why my thing's not showing up the symbols, but point is, it's guaranteed plus 20 during both players' turns, which is nice. When it swings into hand, they have to guard 2 or more, and we know Jheva restands at the very least. I don't know for what cost. I'm willing to bet right now it's a counter boss 1 because I doubt it's counter boss 1 and soul boss 1. So being able to restand Gato Vairina is really nice. And not to mention to have the fact like it's a 20k swing each time. I also believe it has the ability, I'm guessing it has the ability to give plus 10 to Vairina, because Vairina was swinging for 40 in the anime without a trigger, so I don't know, maybe I was missing something, but I'm pretty sure Jheva is going to be able to get power, but who knows, we'll get it in this episode. So, all around, Vairina's a nice card. Crossover dress seems a lot more complicated than it should be, because now instead of having 1 unit that you could easily search, it requires 2, and while yes, both Rino and Reiyu were seen to be able to get the 2 pieces at the same time, I don't think we have a way to get Vairina now. So it's all around a weird thing. I don't know how to feel about it. For now, I'm going to say it's a 4 of, but honestly, overdress might be a little bit better than crossdress. Who knows, but I do like the mechanic, so take that as you will. Our next 2 cards are both Dark States cards. The first one being Time Fracture Dragon, a grade 3 with a grade 2 with intercept 5k shield, 10k base. How did I read that as a grade 3? Anyways, auto rear, when this new attack hits a vanguard, you may draw a card, and if you drew a card, choose a card from your hand, put it to soul. Cool, it's not a mandatory draw, so it's not a guaranteed way to deck you out, but if you want to use its skill, it's a free draw, and you get a soul charge out of it. All around, I think Time Fracture is a pretty good card. It's basically a free setup for literally any Dark States deck, and I think it's best for Chaos because, you know, Chaos has the ability to add power, and it also has the ability to, or like, it wants selective soul stacking, so all around Time Fracture is a really nice grade 2. I think it's pretty good just for all of Dark States, so probably a 2 of or a 3 of in a lot of Dark States decks, or at least the newer ones that have Chaos support in them. Then we have Desire Devil Kwisgie. Of course, the day after me and my friend make a new agreed-on deck with all the support that we have, we of course get this thing. So grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. I love that art, it feels so real looking at it. I like the alligator theme. Auto, when it's put into your soul from rear by the ability of your average demonic dragon greed-on. Cool, so if we get in the evolved form of greed-on, this immediately becomes useless. If you do not countercharge this turn, countercharge 1. So it's a once per turn, but greed-on gets countercharging. Now, my thing with Greedon is I don't see the problem in counterblasting, or at least the way my friend plays Greedon, he never has a counterblast problem. So I'm like, even when he ran the counterblast 2 card, so I'm very much questioning how the countercharge is good. I mean, it's still a good skill nonetheless. Like, countercharge is good. I'm just saying Greedon didn't need this. From what I've seen of Greedon, and from how I play Greedon, it doesn't need this, but maybe that's just me and my friend. Anyways, that's definitely a good skill. Regardless, it allows Greedon to have a lot more freedom with skills like the bunny and Muka, and hell, at some point I feel like Greedon's gonna get a triple restand, so who knows, it might be the next end and we might need to ban it. And then Auto Soul, when your rear guard is placed by your card's ability, if your vanguard is Avarice Demonic Dragon Greedon, and your damage zone is 4 or more cards, that card you gets +5 for the turn. Cool. I mean, one that implies you're going to call it. Bonus out of this, it's not a once per turn, so you can just give it to multiple units, which is nice. Downside is, like I said earlier, it requires the standard Greedon, which means if we ever get an evolved form of Greedon, this is immediately a vanilla because you can no longer use it. The thing is, I can see people arguing this is still better than Urger because Urger's main skill did involve the specific Nirvana. My argument to you about Urger is it had a second skill that wasn't tied to Nirvana. So all y'all people who say Urger is worse than this, remember, Urger was easy to pull off. I pulled it off. I still run it in my Nirvana grade 4 deck, kicks ass, and it has a second skill that isn't required to the specific grade 3, so Kwisgie, good card, but I'm giving it the middle fingers. Definitely run it in Greedon, I like a 3 of though. And ladies and gentlemen, we finally have the new cards for both Nirvana and for Orphis. I gotta say, I was so hyped from getting ready to play these that I literally didn't sleep because I was in anticipation for this. So first up we have the one Orphis card, Cardinal Draco Nuvorea. Grade 3 200 persona rate, 13k base. Auto rare when he attacks for each unit in your for each card in your order zone, it gets +2k, or for each ward in your order zone. So, with Dominus Regius, that's at least a +6k on your first turn swing. Then afterwards, it just gets stronger and stronger. So all around that's really good. And then auto when it's retired from your rear guard, if your ward is Abyssal Dark Knight, you may call a Shadow Army token to rear. So, retired by any means, which means either your opponent kills it by an effect, so fuck you, Denial Griffin, you kill it by your own effect, or you call over using a Shadow Army token from Dominus Regius, and then you call a second one from his skill. I think the most shocking part about this thing is this is a double rare. That is an amazing skill. Costs no counterblast, costs no soul blast, costs no discard, gets a pure straight plus, gets numbers, does multi-attack, all around amazing grade 3, run at a 4 of an Orphis. This is the one time I will say 4 of a card. Then we have our new Nirvana ride line. Let's go. I was so hyped for this, I literally didn't sleep. So surprise egg, grade 0 boost, 5k shield, 6k base, auto when road upon if you want second draw card. Oh my god, I love that art so much. I love the flames bursting out of it. I love the small little dragon boy. Oh, he's so cute. Then we have Heart Pounding Blaze Maiden Rino. I want to say by looking at these from the anime, I didn't think they looked cool. All of them look fucking amazing up close. So grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when it's rode upon by Snuggling, Blaze Maiden Reiyu. Search your deck for up to 1 Trickstar, call to rear guard, shuffle your deck. Cool. So it does the exact same thing as the old Reiyu. Rino doesn't do anything particularly different from it except requires the old Reiyu, but its other skill is continue to rear guard during your turn. If you have a prayer dragon in the same column as her, she gets +5. Now that's amazing because that means in the early game when you rush with the Rinos and Reiyus, because Reiyu also has the same skill more or less, you can get pluses out of it. If the new Vairinas, which I know none of them do, are counted as prayer dragons, you would get more numbers out of it. All around Reno's really good. This is the one time I will say sometimes the ride line will be worth running in the main deck, or at least now, where we have very few cross dresses, but cards to make up that space, because the 5k definitely helps in the early game rush. All around Reno's an amazing grade 1 for that ride line skill, and it's just a good 5k plus, so 1 of in the ride deck, maybe 3 of in the main deck. I know for now, I'll only still run 3. And we have Snuggling, Blaze Maiden, Reiyu, great turn stuff, 5k shield, 10k base. Gotta say, loving that art. I hated the old Reiyu, I love this one. So auto when it's rode upon by Chakrabarthi, Phoenix Dragon, Nirvana, Jheva, I believe that's what it's called, Shiva. I'm still gonna call it Jheva. Look at the top 7 cards, shows to 1 prayer dragon from one of them reveal, put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. Cool. So doesn't get a guaranteed search of your grade 2. I was really hoping to be like a unit with cross dress, or a unit with prayer dragon, or like a talisman or a prayer dragon, but and this is still pretty good, because we're going to have a decent amount of prayer dragons by the look of it, so we have at least 3, so that's pretty good. And then continues to rear guard during your turn. If you have a prayer dragon unit in the same column as it gets +5. So cool, like I said, with these two, in the early game, there's definitely some value to them because they're free 5ks. They can do some early game rush shit. In this one, yeah, free search it's not a search for your main playmaker. However, we have at least 3 prayer dragons, guaranteed. So that's automatically 24 card, well not 24, what the fuck am I talking about, 12 cards you could possibly see from the skill, and it doesn't cost a Soul Blast, unlike the old Reiyu all around. I think this Reiyu's pretty good. I give it a possible 4 of in the deck, but at least 1 of in the right deck, obviously. Then we have Chakrabarthi, Phoenix Dragon, Nirvana, Jheva. Courage 200%, 13k base. Now from what I've seen from people's comments on Jheva is they wanted to see if Crossdress was worth the 3 card -4. What I mean by that is the Trickstar, the Prayer Dragon, and then the Crossdress itself. I think it was, considering its first skill is literally active Vanguard once per turn, discard 1, choose up to 1 Trickstar and up to 1 Prayer Dragon from your drop, call in rearguard. So let me get this straight. You discard 1, and you get the 2 materials you need. It's not called one or the other, it is called both. You get Trickstar, and you get a Prayer Dragon. So 1, even if you don't have a Crossdress, if you have an Overdress, this gets you the Overdress. And 2, if you have a Crossdress, this immediately gets you a Crossdress. By the way, we got rulings on Crossdress where it is considered different from Overdress, and also you can place it on any rearguard circle after you Crossdress it. It doesn't have to be on top of the unit you Crossdressed on, so it can be to a different rearguard circle than the 2 rearguards. So that's already pretty good. It's a free plus. It's drop 1, get 2. And then out of van, when it attacks, counterboss 1, stand one of your rearguards with the Crossdress state. In the Crossdress state. All around, that's an amazing skill. It's a simple counterblast. From what I've seen of Crossdress so far, we have 2 counterblasters. This and one of the Prayer Dragon cards. So all around, that's an amazing plus. 2 rear guards, your literal Crossdress setup, and multi-attack. It may not get power, but there's Crossdresses that plus up power, so all around, I think Nirvana Jheva is an amazing grade 3. I like it. It's definitely a different build from Mar, and no one can say that this is worse than Mar because Mar has had 4 sets of support, so we should at least give this guy a full set of support before we start judging. So 1 of in the right deck, 3 of in the main deck. Fucking love this card. Then we have Sword Equipped Dragon Galondight, our first Prayer Dragon, grade 3, 200%, grade 2, intercept, 5k shield, 10k base, not Persona Right or grade 3. Auto when this card becomes an original dress, choose one of this card's outer dresses, which is basically the unit that was placed on top of this. Until end of turn, it gets +5. And if this unit is if the outer dress was Jeweled Sword Equipped Garou Vairina, it gets plus another 5. So basically, if it's any of the cross dresses we are going to get in time span, it'll get at least a free +5. But if it's specifically this one down here, it'll get +10. So that's pretty cool. So the turn you use this, if you Persona Road, is +40 like you did in the anime. So overall, that's a pretty good card. It does, yes, best when used with Garou Vairina, but it does good all around with all the Vairina stuff. So especially if you manage to put him as an original dress for the cross-dress units. I mean the regular overdress units all around. I like Galondight pretty good. I like him 4 of. It's a free card. Then we have our other new Prayer Dragon, which is Flash Equipped Dragon Bramahda. Grade 1 boosts 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when this card becomes an original dress, counterboss 1, draw 2, choose a card from hand, discard 1. Okay, some people say that there's been like a problem with Nirvana and drawing, so that's why people are going to run arcs after Jheva drops. I'm sorry, I never had a draw problem with Nirvana without arcs, and I'm a avid hater of arcs, and I never had a problem with it. But Bramahda, on the other hand, free draw. And like I said, there's only 2 cards in this deck so far that cost counterblast. These 2. So I don't see reason not to run this at a 4. If it's a Prayer Dragon, it's a free draw. Or not a free draw, but it's a draw. So 4 of. Plus you can use it to set up cards with like Jheva over here to get Prayer Dragons and Trickstar and drop. So like I said, 4 of card. Then we have our last new reveal, which is Brilliant Equipped Vairina. So all triple rares were revealed for Dragon Empire, and all of them are Nirvana / Vairina cards. It is Jheva, it is, where is he? It is Garou Vairina, and it is Bram Vairina over here. So grade 3 turns Persona Right, 13k base, a crossover dress Trickstar and 1 Prayer Dragon on your rear guard, so as per usual requires the standard Prayer Dragon and Trickstars, placed by stacking it on top of each other instead of normal calling it, so you can move them to separate rear guards, obviously regardless of where the units were placed. And then you choose rear guard during your turn. If this unit's in the crossover dress state, it gets +10, and if it's your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 grade, it gets another +10. So if you're going second, this motherfucker's a 33k base. Okay. That's good. It's so much better than Valiente. I gotta say that much. Like, that's automatically better than Valiente. And then auto rear once per turn. When this unit attacks, hits a Vanguard, if it was in the crossover dress state when you did so, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your columns and retire all of your opponent's rear guards in that column. So let me get this straight. In a deck where we no longer have Soul Blast, the second we ride, we now have a total of 3 soul to work with. We have Bram, who is now an on-hit nuke column, and if you combine it with this thing, they either have to block a 33k, at least a 23k swing twice, or they lose half of their board.
I love the cross overdress mechanic. I love how it seems so different from overdress, even though they are so similar in terms of rulings. I love it so much. I love how this is a new deck for Nirvana. My only hate on this is I'm gonna break my wallet trying to get all these things. Because again, I say, all these are fucking triple rares. So I can't get these. I mean, all the support cards, except for this boy, is a rare, so that's not that bad. But, I'm gonna break my wallet trying to get these, but it's so worth it because this is such a cool mechanic. I love how all these units look. I love all their skills, and I have a test match to go record to upload tomorrow, because just like I did with Valiente, the second it's revealed, I'm recording, editing, and uploading a match. So I'm gonna here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me, what do you all think of a cross overdress mechanic? I think it's fucking amazing. I don't think it's fair to judge it negatively yet, because again, we haven't had a full set of support yet. We've had at most 7 cards, so we'll see how this goes. All around, I love these things. I can't wait to see more of it, and I'm gonna go test play. So I'll see you on this one. Don't forget to stand up your vanguards.